Hello, Zak Lyon here, nutritionist in Denver, Colorado. Today we're talking about adaptogens. Adaptogens are wonderful stress-reducing foods that we can use to feel better every day, whether we're not feeling like we've got enough energy or we're feeling like we are over stimulated. So adaptogens are unique compounds and chemicals and foods. They help us deal with stress, and I'm going to talk a bit about that. So when the body is not stressed, it tends to find health on its own. But when you are stressed, that's when your body's out of balance, out of homeostasis in any number of the body's systems. And to achieve health again and a peaceful state of mind, you've got to find that balance again. But sometimes you literally don't have the hormone levels adequate enough, or you have too much of a certain hormone to relax or to get up and go. So, and this is where adaptogens come in to play, and they can help. Adaptogens are stress deactivators. Adaptogens increase our ability to cope with stress and stabilize stress levels. Adaptogens are plants and herbs, and they come in many different forms, from leaves to roots to berries, vines, and mushrooms. So there are hundreds of thousands of different causes of stress, and for each one of us, there are hundreds of thousands of unique effects. And as individuals, we tend to fall into, we have we're predestined, we're predisposed to certain effects of stress. And no matter what it is, the cause for you is stress, and this is where adaptogens come in. So adaptogens reverse, prevent, inhibit, and deactivate the stress signals and the causes of stress and the effects. Adaptogens mimic, stimulate, multiply, and produce the stress-reducing signals and stress-reducing causes and effects. Some work by mimicking proper hormones when good hormones are lacking in amount, and they prevent signaling of excessive hormone levels. So adaptogens bind to similar receptors and actually trick the body into thinking that it has sufficient levels of certain hormones when they're actually too low. Or, on the other hand, they will bind to these receptors and prevent excessive amounts of a hormone from being able to bind. So your body actually thinks you have less. And this is good. So this helps your body maintain homeostasis and signaling sensitivity and efficiency and efficacy. Adaptogens help your adrenal glands, for example, create a stronger hormonal response when necessary. Adaptogens are helpful for strenuous exercise and stressful times, mentally and physically. Like at the beginning of the day when cortisol levels naturally rise so you can be alert and focused. If you aren't having sufficient cortisol levels, or your body's not able to produce that because you're stressed or you've been producing way too much over the last 2 weeks and your adrenal glands and other hormone-producing glands are fatigued, adaptogens can come in and help. Adaptogens prevent excessive stress also on your adrenal glands by inhibiting their activation. So again, it's back to the adaptogens help you regulate up and help you regulate down hormone levels or perceived hormone levels by the body. Adaptogens turn adrenal glands off sooner after a stress response is no longer needed. So the old example is when you're being chased by a tiger and then you kill the tiger, but your adrenal glands keep pumping out adrenaline and other stress hormones because you're too stressed, or you had a bad day prior, or that you had a bad week prior, and so your adrenal glands are not responding to, okay, I killed the tiger, I can calm down. Sometimes that's how the body works, and it's unfortunate, but this is where adaptogens come in. They will help your adrenal glands down-regulate and turn them the adrenal glands off sooner after the stress response is no longer needed. Once it's not needed, you should be able to relax, and that's what it helps you do. So, and similarly, like when it's time to go to bed and your cortisol is for some reason still pumping out, adaptogens will help eliminate that. Or after a workout to maximize, recovery. So after a workout, you're done. You don't need to be, intense. You need to be recovering, and adaptogens will help your body down-regulate into the recovery mode, if you will. Adaptogens help lower stress hormones like cortisol when they're too high for when you're trying to go to bed. And adaptogens raise stress hormones like cortisol when they're too low, like in the morning when you need more cortisol to get your day going. So adaptogens also maintain hypothalamic receptor sensitivity. So this prevents adrenal fatigue upstream in the brain by reducing the amount needed by the brain to get a sufficient response. Does that make sense? So this is a reduced need for hormone production. It lets your adrenal glands rest. It makes the amount of hormones that your adrenal glands are pumping out more efficient. So adaptogens increase glucose uptake by cells. This improves metabolism for energy production and improves your blood sugar maintenance and levels. Adaptogens are central nervous system stimulators, but function completely outside of the pathways that normal stimulants use, like caffeine and amphetamines. So they're stimulants in some sense, but in another sense, they are not stimulants whatsoever, because stimulants are systemic. Stimulants like caffeine and amphetamines are systemic stimulants, and adaptogens are not. So this is good because they're not just throwing kind of arbitrary energy into your body. They're helping your body create whichever type of energy you need, relaxing energy or kind of get up and go energy. Adaptogens are generally a great source of minerals. They tend to come with a lot of good minerals in their whole food form. So some inhibit the breakdown of neurotransmitters like acetylcholine. And this is good for memory. There's a lot of research around the neurotransmitter acetylcholine and its role in memory and focus, attention, and kind of executive functioning. And the ability of certain adaptogens to inhibit the breakdown of acetylcholine help your body have more acetylcholine in the brain and in between the synapses and whatnot, and their ability to bind, so that you have more. And this gives you a more of an ability to remember things and study and remember what you've studied and all this. Adaptogens are thought to be effective for increasing physical and mental capacity, improving resilience, reducing fatigue, improving stamina, improving resistance to disease, and creating an anti-aging environment inside the body. So increasing physical and mental capacity, 1, improving resilience, 2, reducing fatigue, 3, improving stamina, 4, improving resistance to disease, 5, and creating an anti-aging environment in the body. I repeat these because this is kind of the summary if you needed one right there. So now I want to talk about my favorite 6. I've got a top 6 list here, and honestly I could have a top 20 list because they're all amazing and they're all some of them are equally effective, and you've got to just kind of test them out and see which ones work for you, and then some are going to work during certain times and some aren't. So my top 6 are maca, and you want to get gelatinized maca. Maca is a root. It looks kind of like a beet, and it is fantastic. It's kind of it's thought of as a vitality adaptogen. It's marketed as it increases your libido, but anything that improves your body's hormones and hormone levels and hormone modulation is going to be good for your libido, honestly. And a cucumber is good for your libido. You know what I mean? Like anything that's good for the body is good for your libido. So You want to get gelatinized maca because this is how it was traditionally prepared. It makes it more bioavailable. It removes some of the, I think, starches that can aggravate some people and make it hard for them to digest. My number 2 is cacao, chocolate, cocoa. Cacao is the most antioxidant-rich food on the planet. You don't want to eat it in a Hershey chocolate bar. I'm not convinced of Hershey's quality of cacao, and there's, sugar and a bunch of other crap in there. So you just want cacao powder. Put it in whatever, however you want to eat it. Number 3 is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is a root, and it's fantastic. Ashwagandha is how you would spell it. So, and I'll put all this in the show notes as well. Skullcap is one of my personal favorites. That's why it's in my top 6. It is a fantastic nervous system, central nervous system, nourishing adaptogen. It's one of my personal favorites. Ginseng is a classic. It's a classic. And I'm sure everyone's heard of it, but it shouldn't be understated in its importance just because it's so widely known. And then number 6 here is any of the medicinal mushrooms. So cordyceps, lion's mane, chaga, reishi, turkey tail. There's a bunch of others. These are just some of my favorites. There are foods that we don't eat a lot, mushrooms, and there's so many of them, and these ones in particular have powerful health benefits. So now I'm just going to go through a list of my next top favorite ones in no particular order. Rhodiola, camu camu, tulsi or holy basil, licorice root, asparagus root, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, chamomile flower, astragalus, royal jelly, shatavari. I'm not sure exactly how to say that. I don't know how to say this next one either. Schizandra berry, eleuthero root, Arjuna bark, and Siberian I'm not even gonna. I don't even know if I should try this. Eleutherococcus sentiococcus. I'm gonna put that in the show notes so you can check it out on your own. Anyway, these are some of my favorites. I've tried all of them, and you gotta try a bunch. Some are gonna work sometimes. Some are gonna work not other times, and so you gotta try them out. But honestly, just eat them. Just take them. They're not going to help you unless you eat them. So go find a few. Just take them. Take them for 2 weeks. See what happens, That's my recommendation. These are my favorite adaptogens. I love adaptogens. Everyone's so stressed these days, and often no one does anything about it. And these are so easy because you go to the store, you take a pill. I mean, there's no magic pill for health, but there are many pills that help your health. And they're easy. You don't have to sit there and meditate for 20 minutes. If that's not your thing, you go take a pill. It's so easy. So try them out. Let me know what you guys come up with and think. And if I missed any good adaptogens, let me know. And that's it for today. I'll see you at the next one.